Yo, bartender.
Bar's closed.
Hey, yo, bartender, what's good, man? Let me get a drink, man. Let me get a shot.
Hey, man, I know you just put up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man, I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to her. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's all right. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna get you one drink, because it look like you need
one drink. I can do one drink. I can do one drink, because I really, yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things we're going to brought to you by is Minecraft Central. That's right, Minecraft Central is one of the things that's going to help you do a lot of things. I tell you, I use it all the time. And it helps me because, again, I fall victim to my own problems. I know y'all don't understand it, so let me break that down a little bit more clear. I have a problem, and I keep going over and over and over. And then when I understand the Minecraft portion of it, I start seeing it past the problem. So, okay, if you see past the problem, now you shouldn't just be looking at the problem. So I have a resolution to it. But I have a bad habit of continue going back. This will be a class that can teach you mind control, that can keep you focused on where you need to be compared to where you are. That's one of the things why I said he's a blessing. Why he's willing to give this to you, he God-given. Because I promise you, nobody else should even want to care. He cares enough to give you something that you really need, and it ain't at a cost that you can't afford. What you can't afford is not learning it and doing it, because it's going to make you a greater person.
Right.
So please give it a try, and I'm telling you, I endorse. Now, I got to get back to this person I endorse. This person has been rocking with me going on almost 7 years. He comes in here with a smile each and every time. I'm saying that for the ladies. Listen up. Crabmatic, how you doing it?
Doing fabulous, Jay. Things good, man.
Things good, man. Bro, what's that smile? What you been up to, bro?
Well, I've been chasing a few. I've been on the chase, yeah. It's been good. Well, listen, I'm looking for a long-term kind of thing. I really would like to have something, just something. It ain't got to be, all day, every day, but something real cohesive. You know what I mean? So,
you sound like you want some Velcro. Some really, but I want to tear it away. Okay.
Well, ain't that what we want in a relationship? To be able to tear it away when we want to, right?
It's a give and take.
I don't mind a Velcro relationship.
Hey.
Right? And then if we make it to 2 years, we can put some duct tape around it.
You're really trying to hold on, is you?
Well, if you make it 2 years, you might want to stay, hold on, But I'm doing well, man. How are you doing, man? Jack?
I'm doing excellent, man. I gotta admit, man, life is getting better. It's just getting it in priorities to understand, like, a lot of stuff is coming in. One of the things I want to tell people is they say about the recession, people talk about things that's coming up, but one of the things I can tell you, if you remember all the things you've been through, you should put a plan together and you can get through. Being broke to a lot of people is the worstest times. Me and my brothers was talking. There was times when we didn't have it and we had a great time. We was able to come together and do small things, and the small things meant a lot. Now, a lot of times now we got houses, cars, we got a lot of responsibilities, and we now come together, and that's just choice because you're trying to work so much and you do so much and you forget about enjoying your life.
Yes.
So please don't let this recession, whatever they want to call it, thing, depression, it is when you get back with good people. All right, that's another thing. I love my brothers, but my brothers also like my friends. All right, so I want to be around them. And that's how you can gravitate. When you're around people that you want to be around, even like if you like my brother Graham, just let you know, you family. I want to be around y'all, and it adds value because conversations are in depth.
Yeah.
They're conversations that's meaningful.
Yeah.
It's not just, you get a pretty girl. I said, well, that's surface.
Yeah.
It's deeper when you're like, yo, man, how the business going? What's the other ideas you got going? What's the next collaboration we gonna do? We do things that's inspiring to us alone.
Yes.
I forget about other people looking at us. I forget all about mine. My son goes back and asks me questions like, yo, Craft, what y'all doing? And I know you work with Boob, and, you know, I know Boob knows so many people. You know, it's just amazing when you have that circle.
Yes.
You're going to need that through these rough times and have that communication. Not saying no more than, you know, that's going to make it not so bad.
Yeah.
That's not where I'm looking at it and I'm depressed.
Yeah.
You know, yes, my stocks went down. Yes, this might happen. But am I giving up? No, it's not about giving up. I got too many people to love me and too many people around me that's inspiring me. Yeah. And if you got that, you'll get past this whole equation and then become a better person.
Yeah.
Because now you know how to get past this. What stops you from being the greatest person? Nothing. Okay.
Right.
But this time right now is gonna be tough on everybody. It's getting tough. Everything is still going up. Everybody wonder. Take the time to write it out. And again, going back to the class, if you ever take it with Minecraft, you will be able to see through it and start managing it, and you will be in a position where you won't be as stressed. I don't want nobody to die behind all this.
Yeah.
I want as many people to live because I think there's going to be a lot of rich people that come out of this.
There's going to be a lot of rich people.
It's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of rich people already.
Yeah.
But a lot more rich people, and I want to see us become rich in any facet in a way possible off of the goodness of some of the wrongs that was done. Because a lot of these people is just rich because this has been handed to their age. Sometimes we need to go ahead and get it because we've been working for this.
There you go. A great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here to liberate your mind and soul with a fabulous dialogue. Tonight, we're just going to talk about the subject of the life of a father.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of dynamics there. I'm going to set it up here in just a moment. But what do fathers go through? What are fathers experiencing? What are fathers' standpoints? What are their attitudes? Just hearing from a couple of fathers here, and we certainly will echo the opinions of our peers and our forefathers, etc.
Yes.
So it's going to be a great dialogue. We hope that you can grow from it, learn from it, and find some nuggets that you can carry forth into your future. That's what we're all about here. We always start the show off with a prayer.
I'm going to need you to do this one, bro.
Okay.
Fatherhood, yeah, you need to pray over me.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's hand this over to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, just thanking you for being our Father. We thank you for your fatherly ways and your fatherly attitude and your fatherly structures. We thank you for your fatherly gifts. We thank you for all that you do as our Father. Give us inspiration here tonight, Lord, on how to be a great father. Give us the opportunity to have a discussion that is centered in your perfect will and your perfect truth about fatherhood. Lead us in the right direction. Help us to understand. Bring some powerful crescendos of intelligence and wisdom to the surface tonight. Let your voice be heard in this dialogue. We ask that you would be here, speak through us. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Ooh, yeah,
Yes.
thank you for that one.
Amen.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was for. That was for me.
That's for me too.
I did.
That's for me too. I'll be honest with you, Jay. When it comes to the word fatherhood, man, I just don't think I've done a good job, man.
But before
No,
you,
man,
you say it
my
like
heart's
that,
in the right place, but the things that
transpired.
I wanted to do, the things that I thought I should have been doing, the things that I found myself doing was never, I don't know, man. I just feel like I missed the mark. I just feel like I missed the mark as a father.
But
And
that's why we do this show.
yeah.
It's not just missing the mark. It's other people that feel this way. But you have not given up. And that's what I like to make sure this show's about. Because fatherhood consists of a lot. And everybody want to take the glory. It's a lot behind it, period. And that's why women might want to listen to this one. Because this show right here is going to be dynamic for you. Because you want to talk about it. But let's talk about it in a real sense. Because we have to put our lives on the line for y'all. Protect, take care of, and do everything. And then I got to protect your honor and some of the things you do. But then you wonder why I want you to go out the house with clothes on and look respectful. Because I have to go out and protect you all the time. And then you got my name. Don't ever disgrace the name. Understand what it is. So fatherhood is huge, especially when it comes to your kids, because they look up to you. They want the best for them through you. They look at you. You are an icon When somebody talk about do not look at anybody but God, most people look at their father. They're going to look at him as an idol because that's what they look at as a child. And when you ain't there, they're going to find something else. And that's just how that normally goes. So I'm not saying no more than all these fathers out here. Try to be the strongest man you can and understand it ain't perfect. But a lot of people want to say so-and-so this, so-and-so that. They ain't walked in your shoes.
Right.
And I'm going to tell all fathers. It's hard. My hat's off to all fathers. And no matter if you got it right or wrong, all I can promise you and tell you, I didn't have it all right either. And I'm not going to be on this show telling you something that my behind did not do. I made mistakes. I've been married, been divorced. I had fiancés, girlfriends, and all the rest. I tried to do right by everybody I could, and there's going to be some people that said I did not. Okay? That's their choice. But one of the things I can tell you is I tried to grow along the way. No one taught me how to really be a man. I started off as a boy wanting to be a man. Wanting to be a man ain't being a damn man, okay? Let me help y'all out. My father was a good man, but he wasn't always around, so I had to attach myself to fatherly figures that was in the neighborhood. You know, I was around with my best friend David and his dad, which was a good man. Unfortunately, he's no longer here, but David and I became very close because of the bonds that he had with his son, and he was able to extend it even with me. That's the kind of stuff that I learned, that I have to be a man like him, that will take a child in and treat him just like he's mine and don't make him feel like he's someone else. So when I started dating, I started having to respect some of their kids just like they was mine without overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? So again, I learned this, but I didn't know how to apply it all the time. So when I first got into it, I didn't think nothing about nobody. It was all about me. I was a selfish ass. And that selfish ass had to grow up. So after I hurt some people, unfortunately, because I'm dating them, trying to do me, I started learning some things got to change because I ain't like the pain. They crying, I don't cry.
Right. That's what fathers do though sometimes, man. Yeah.
Then you get around your boys like, I know you ain't crying, bro. Oh man, you a punk. You don't supposed to be crying. So now I feel funny. I'm like, but it hurts that she broke up with me and it tore my heart out. Oh man, you being a little weird. But again, I'm giving you small facets of being. So I had to learn to cover up pain. That wasn't a good learn. All right. Man, it didn't.
I don't know, Jay.
But I covered it up. And I said covered because I didn't become hard, bro. I covered it. So I didn't cry around them. Still cry until I learned how to handle some things instead of just crying out loud. So again, this is me becoming a man, growing,
right.
Okay?
Right.
And then you start getting around some other men when you're getting a little bit older and they start giving you some advice. Some of their advice was good, a lot of it wasn't because it was selfish on for them. And then I start having to apply to realize who giving me this advice. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing people that ain't never been with nobody and it wasn't going to be what I was trying to be, but they telling me what I need to be and what I need to do. So I started realizing you can't take advice from everybody. And you have to start understanding what you want. And I started off asking grown now, I'm talking about grown up. Now it's me grown as a boy anymore. I don't confuse nobody. I went back and I asked my ex-wife, what did you see in me? And she was nice enough to say, you know, I seen you being successful. I seen you when we first started off. And that's why I wanted to be with you. That helps a lot because if they see something in you, then you got a real one. All right? Just dating somebody that could be using you. So as a man, I felt used a lot. But then again, I also felt like I wasn't always appreciated. Mm-hmm. But to hear my ex tell me, I seen something in you, I felt a little appreciation because I knew I had something before everything went right or wrong. I knew I had something to give more so than just a kid. Because fatherhood is more than just making a child. You know, it's standing to a standard. It goes back to a religious standpoint of holding on to some things, of moral. And I don't think everybody got good morals, but holding on to moral good conduct. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Not when somebody see you all the damn time. Mm-hmm. And that's hard because you go through so much from your job, bills, dealing with things, your kids, and it's frustrating. Somebody else told me, you know, a good man would spend more time with his kid. Well, also, a good man makes sure you got to provide. Well, it's so rough out here right now. Some people got to work 12 hours. I can't do 12 hours a day and then spend a lot of time with them. It's hard. I got to get some sleep. And then I got to keep stability. I got to keep the house going. I got household chores just like I got job chores. So by the time I get a lot of stuff done, I'm exhausted. It's not a lot left. but all you keep doing is badgering me about why you didn't make this and you couldn't do this. I try to plan the best I can. Sometimes it's difficult. I'm not crying on your shoulder because I'm the man. I'm trying to support everything. And it makes it rough. And then you wonder who to turn to. I would always tell you, turn to God. Because you got to get comfortable back with you and make some hard decisions. And I had to sit mine down and say, hey, I got to do this for us. And when I did that, she didn't like it at first. But she was like, well, if I got to go get a job, make sure you can still be able to do the things that you're telling me. I need somebody there at that school. I need somebody to still spend some time with the kids. So don't get one and then we lack it. Because that just defeats everything. If I have to get two, I get two. Right. And you just do what we need to do because I really want family to be strong. Right. And she loved it so much she did. She found a job that she was able to do it, and we became a power horse. And these are the things that helped me grow as a father because, again, I had a woman that seen into me, and we start growing together. I think some of the things in fatherhood, let's talk about the mistakes, is getting your ego in your way. As a father, I let my ego get in my way. And when that happened, I start not seeing my significant other as my significant other. I started looking at her like, yo, it's a battle. You know, it's like we arguing all the time, but some of these arguments because of me. It's because I felt like, you know, you ain't treating me like some of these other ones that's talking on the side because they talking on the side because they see you a good dude. But a good dude wouldn't be listening to your behind.
Well, and they ain't got the responsibility of taking care of your kids.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I got it. But they see the hard work. They see how you dedicate and you're always there. And you're always putting in. So, of course, they want you. So they'll push out the person that's with you, knowing that they probably wouldn't even like that position because that position is easy for her now because we grew together. You new to this. So now you just feel like you can just jump in. And as a man, you got to stand ground. There's times I was weak and I didn't stand the ground correctly. And I'll just say that as a father. And because of that, I end up being divorced behind some of it. So I'm not liking all my actions, but what I can tell you, instead of blaming, I went back and asked questions because you got to do an exit interview sometime at a job. You need to know why people leaving you. All right? And in a relationship, I had to do the same thing because as a father, I'm failing now. I got a wife that walked away from me. I got to know why she's walking away because I feel like another one going to walk away too. And I don't make some changes and just keep blaming. It's easy for me to say she did this, she did that. Okay, I get that. But the bottom line, if you don't see some of the wrongs that you do, you won't change nothing you do.
And listen, man, let me just give you a standing ovation right now, Jay, because that whole dialogue was just full of, just riddled with all kind of real fatherly stuff. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better than you did, and I took a bunch of notes here. When I look at the life of a father, what you talked about at the end, if it doesn't work out, no matter what, we have to take ownership of it.
Yes.
Period. My fault. I did it. I allowed it to happen. I let it happen. I let the enemy come in, and that's how I'm looking at my scenario with my kids. Is I let the enemy in, you know, and you know, maybe I wasn't strong enough to overcome him. Maybe it wasn't my purpose to overcome him. You know, maybe things came out as they should have been, but just knowing that I am a man and that I am a father, I allowed that to happen. And that brings me to the next point. Men hurt too, right? Sometimes women don't see that. And sometimes even men don't see that in themselves, particularly. We hurt too. We feel disappointment and we feel like they did us wrong and we feel like all the stress is on us. Yes. We have lots of heaviness as a father, but you mentioned one thing Dave, that I'll tie into this. As much heaviness as we don't have a choice but to cover up the pain. Mm. It's not necessarily a good thing. You know, we need to find some ways. Maybe we go chop a tree. You know, maybe we go start a radio show and, you know, for our spare time, maybe we go shoot basketball, you know, maybe we, you know, start studying film, or maybe we watch movies, any number of things. But whatever you do, you really, as a man, cannot allow the world to see you in pain.
Right.
You gotta suck it up. You gotta not let your bottom lip don't need to hang out. It don't need to be trembling. Your eyelashes don't need to be all balled up in the middle of your head because you're mad. Your face don't need to be frowned to the side. But all of this shit sometimes get on our last nerves. And we're oftentimes left to hold that. And I think that's kind of the chiseling that God uses to create a man. You have to be chiseled. It's no different than coal to create a diamond.
Right.
You got to chisel to find the diamond. You got to find that goodness. You got to find that richness. And so we do go through a lot of hurt in our lives because again, whatever happens ultimately is on us. We've had a tendency to put it off on other people for many years. And, I don't want this to come as a slant, but it just seems like women are moving further and further away from men. And so now, we got to do some different things. We got to behave in a different way. And sometimes even cover up the pain even more because, we might get a lot more opposition than we'll get support when it comes to the women's side of the equation. Let's face it, 75+% of all black homes in America are without a father. Those homes do not have a man and they do not have a father. They would probably be sometimes maybe a father figure in the house. Maybe there's a brother or uncle or somebody else they happen to be. The kids may be able to lean on to get some fatherly figure loves. But we're talking about a world now that is where children are growing up without their father in the home. For fathers who are trying to raise children and you do not live with them, that's a whole nother world of hardship. And I'm just kind of pleading with the heart of all men who are in this situation because it's not nearly as easy as it may look, ladies. Sometimes those mishaps, that came before that caused us to not be together, they're troubling us. And as much as we are troubled, we are still in many ways forced to be with you and to be in teammate with you and to be in partnership with you. And we find ourselves, because you all are a little more vocal than we are, we find ourselves having to bite our lip. We find ourselves having to take it across the chin. We find ourselves in positions where your friends and your family may hate us and dislike us, and they don't even know the damn truth. They don't even know who we are. They've just been told your story, which is always, your way and a bunch of bullshit, right? And so now we got a whole constituency of people who are interacting with our children who may not receive us. That's a very difficult place to be in.
Yes, it is.
That's like having a job and going to work and everybody hates you. And you just tiptoe around the office all day, biting your lip because you can't afford to get in trouble. You can't afford to say something that's going to hurt the environment. So that's what men oftentimes go through. And I'm not suggesting that women don't go through very similar things, but those are hardships in the heart of a man. And I have met and been a part of several organizations here very recently that are focused on the Fatherhood Initiative. In fact, I have a contract with one organization so that I can bring active mindfulness to the fathers.
Okay.
And it's been well received and they're loving it. And, we're going on the next grant and probably the next grant probably will be, a lifetime contract. Because these young men are some of them aren't quite fathers. Some of them are about to be fathers, but those other ones are young fathers. Right. And there's no guidance for fatherhood. I mean, well, let's face it, there's no textbook for parenting.
It's not.
We all just kind of doing what we know best to do and what we think is right and, what we pray upon and how much help we might get from our parents or, what we see in our counterparts, our neighbor, how they treat their children, be in for the lights and where we might let our children be out after the lights off, However, the point here is that fathers need to be nurtured. We oftentimes feel like we don't get loved on holidays. We don't really feel like we're that very much important. And maybe that is because we are not in those households. We have to take ownership of those, right?
I can tell you, Father's Day is the worst holiday that's on.
It's been a tough set of celebrations for
Dude, they
Father's
celebrate
Day.
Halloween over.
Oh yeah, they celebrate Halloween on
I
Father's Day.
hate to say it's my birthday, but I will tell you this. All y'all want to
Listen,
give gifts, yes.
You have to prepare to celebrate Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween, they got big, props.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they prepare early for Halloween,
Right.
and nothing about it.
Right. Fathers are feeling cheated, but think about it. If fathers are not in the household, they're not getting the love. Potentially, they're not getting the respect that a typical father would. So there is something out of sync, right? Now, here's what I know. And I just had an opportunity to see some really extreme statistics on fathers and their relationship with their children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It turns out that the black father is not only the most connected to his children of all the fathers, he also spends more quality time with his children than any other nationality of fathers. But if you look at the social side of the statistics, say that men, particularly black men, are not taking care of their children, and they're not spending time with their children. We are we are actually the most financially sound parent as well, in terms of what with the state, and obviously they're gonna take their money, right? So if you're a father outside of the house, more than likely you probably got into the system through that divorce and got on child support, and so now child support's holding you accountable, and they're suggesting that the black father has the greatest percentage of success in taking care of his children, not only with visitations but with money and quality of time. That means we are facing a world that is looking at us like we're deadbeat dads. But we are not. We are the most instrumental part of parenting in a child's life. But yet the world is saying something very different about us. And we have to fix that. And I don't know how we fix that, but women, we need you to help us fix that. If your father, if your child, your baby's daddy, or your father's child is doing what he's supposed to do, we need you to cheer him on. We need you to preach that word. We need you to plant positive seeds in your children's mind about their father. We're not getting the rap, but yet we're putting in the work. All the statistics will say that we are putting in the work and we are making a difference in our children's lives, but yet the perception of the world is that we're deadbeat dads and we're good for nothing and we're not taking care of our responsibilities. And that's all some bullshit.
I would tell you one of the reasons why is because a lot of women has to deal with it and feel like they're doing a man's job. Now, my whole thing is if a woman is trying to do both jobs because the man is not there, my heart goes out to you because again, you have to be dynamic. And I'm glad you're a wonderful person and you're dynamic. But if you are dynamic and you putting down that person that you made that baby with, you made that damn choice. Why are you doing that? And you're saying in front of these kids and you're making the kids feel a certain way because of the fact that that person is no longer there. I'm just saying to you, that defeats a lot of the household problems that we got going on. It defeats it because the fact it's not helping. How is it helping when you sit there and you talk about this man that you laid up with, made these kids with, it didn't work out, and then you talk about how sorry his ass is, and you chose him. You chose all that. You chose to stay when he did all these crazy things. So now these kids are just constantly hearing you bitch about how we ain't nothing, and then we try to spend time with them. You don't give, this some cases, you don't let them see them. And if you do, you don't put so much negativity in their heads that they're questioning, why did you leave mom? Why did you do all this to mom? So we answering to a lot. That's what makes things so much harder because some people are selfish. Now, when things don't work out, it's hard to deal with a person that chose not to be with you. I get it. I understand it because I had to go through it. But one thing I can tell you, when you put a child priority first, and that's what made me understand it when I had a child, that it ain't about me no more. So I have to suffer through some things. So as a man, I have to swallow my pride, and I have to deal with you even though I don't like you. because
You know what, Jay?
I'm trying to be the best man possible.
did
Because
that.
that kid is not asking nothing at this time, and I ain't heard you say anything negative.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna swallow my pride and I'm gonna do what I can. But how long you think I'm gonna keep doing that and everybody giving me hell? I go over there, you treat me like shit. You telling me, well, I need this and they need that, and you need to do more. You know, you constantly pushing down.
You mashing down on me, right? Right.
It's not.
I'm not your outlet to be mashed down on.
I'm gonna push back.
And that's part of what I had a problem with. Not to mention, you know, at the outset, even though I take ownership as a man, some bullshit went down and wasn't my fault.
Okay.
And I'm never gonna take responsibility for that because I don't have to own other people's bullshit.
No,
you know what I mean? I never have to own your problems. You know, I can take some responsibility for it, but I know what you're talking about. That you know, here's a situation. We all have children who were raised by their mothers, and we are outside the home. And I think it's impossible to be a parent and not love your child, right? It's impossible, right? We love our children. Of course we love our children. Men don't love like women love. So the appearance is that we don't feel the same way you do, but we love our children, right? But we'll oftentimes would rather stand on principle rather than to diminish ourselves or diminish our relationship with our children, right?
Correct.
Like you know, as much as we want to bite our lip and like, we're not gonna keep being mistreated over the years because you feel like you need somebody to pick on, or because you feel like you can talk to the child about us maybe in a certain way that isn't healthy, or maybe take their ways or take their mindsets in a certain way about their parent. You know, we don't have a reason to stand around and defend ourselves for a lifetime because we're not with you anymore. You know, my hope is that is not happening, but men are telling me over and over and over again it's happening. And they're telling me that over and over again, they're saying, listen, man, you know, I love my child, but my ex lady turned my child against me. You know, I don't know what she been telling them, a whole bunch of bullshit. And when I talk to the kid coming out of their mouth with a whole bunch of nonsense, stuff that's nowhere near the truth. But yet, that's their frame of reference and their whole, you know, operation of belief. So when I come around now, I got to be always on the defense.
Yep.
And I'm not interested in doing that for years at a time, right? Plus, it doesn't make any sense. It hurts. It doesn't make any sense. But, you know, the point here is that it can be a very challenging world. And for you fathers who are hearing us talk about this, especially you young fathers, you know, there's going to be some things you have to learn in the process. You're going to have to learn to bite your lip. You're going to have to learn to get along with somebody who you may not like. You're going to have to learn to try and make the best of a challenging situation. And what are all those? Life problems. That's just life issues, right?
Yeah.
Life is gonna keep you in the center path. And even though we might want to drift out here, we might even want to live out here. Mm-hmm. If we live out here, it's nothing but weeds. You know, weeds and snakes. And so that's okay if you want to live out there. But life is going to keep pushing you back into the narrow path of life, that there's, you know, you got to do right by the kids, you got to do right by her, you got to do right by yourself, and you got to weigh all three of those all the way through the process. Okay? Whether you're with mama, whether you're not with mama, none of that crap matters. The only thing that matters is what is best for the children. And so those are some hard lessons to learn. Those are some big equations to have to calculate throughout life. But stay strong. You know, there's been generations and generations upon generations of, separated families who made it and doing well, and who kept their relationship and who stayed strong. And sometimes, you know, I'm not preaching for not being together. You should wholeheartedly attempt to live a life with the mother of your child. You should do everything in your fiber to make sure that family stays together. That is, in fact, one of my greatest regrets to date, is that I let my family get broken up. And I don't care who I want to point the finger at, I'm taking ownership of it. Mm-hmm. Please don't you make that mistake. I'm telling you this
See.
20 years, 25 years later, right? I literally cried for years and years and years because I couldn't accept the fact that I made such a horrible long-term mistake. Like I couldn't catch myself in the midst of making the mistake, and then it was too late, and then things transpired and I couldn't catch it and I couldn't fix it. And here 25 years later I'm still dealing with it. Don't go through that, fellas. Stand in the gap. The long haul, I know it's challenging. And I want to say this just for the record here. In the state of Georgia, if you don't get along with your baby's mother,
Correct.
if you don't stay together, as soon as that relationship breaks up and that child is born, you are in the system.
Yes.
There is no getting a lawyer and just talking it out and paperwork and all. No. The state of Georgia don't play that. If you are not married to your baby's mama, you are in the system. Period. It could be years down the road and you could have paid your child support on time. But if you are not married to your baby's mother, you are going in the system. And they check for 3 things. I can't remember. One is obviously child support. The other is they always make sure that father is the actual father. They do that testing, and then they do visitation, right? And so you basically could be having 3 different court cases just because you and your baby's mama didn't get along, and you and your baby's mama didn't get married. The state of Georgia does not play the radio.
They don't.
Saying that, you got to start protecting yourself, guys. We know a lot of men, there are a lot of us men who have children, and we never even considered that a child would come out of this equation. It was a one-night stand, it was a booty call, it was a cuddy buddy, it was just a chick I met when I was out of town, and next thing you know, children are cropping up. You know what I'm saying? Protect yourself, man. Don't do that. Don't do that to her. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to the child. Do not drop the seed unless it's your wife. Put it in a plastic bowl and send it to the river. You know what I'm saying? Does everybody understand what I'm saying here? Especially
you
young men.
As clean as you can say it. I get it.
Right.
But also, Tennessee is putting on their docket. They're actually trying to make a law that they have to have a DNA test when a baby's born. Tennessee is going to be the first. I hope it goes all the way through. And they also look at it now holding people more accountable when they lie. Because another thing, there's a lot of fathers out there that's been lied on.
And lied too.
People have told that you're the father and you're not. And then again, a lot of us didn't know no better. We went down, we signed that birth certificate, so now we're responsible. And then when we find out we're not, because this person found out that, blood types didn't match, this, that, the other. And then now, to me, it seemed like I should easily be able to get off any kind of child support or anything.
It seems like it.
I'm not responsible for that. But now you signed the birth certificate, so now you got to get a lawyer to fight a case that's clearly a lie.
Right.
Now, I'm not talking to all women are like this, but it's just too damn many for me not to say the shit don't happen. It happens a lot.
They're not by themselves.
And just somebody needs to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
For you to pick the best person that you feel should be the father when you open your legs to multiple, just understand what it is. A man will have more respect for you coming saying you don't know, and then they all go get tested, compared to you just lying. Because now that man's life is altered.
Yeah,
his family's life is altered. It is.
Ladies,
because now everybody hold resentment. Yeah. And now guess what? Who suffers? The child.
Yeah.
And that's not fair because of you making that decision. That person made a selfish decision that changed the course of everybody's life, because now this person ain't looking at them the same. The family don't want nothing to do with it because they don't have to, because it's not of their loins. And then this girl is like, well, I just need somebody to take care of my baby. And listen, we want to feel for you. Look at how you're handling things. There's things that's been done so damn wrong in the past and not been talked about. We are not here judging you. We're not the ones saying what all to do. We've done too many damn wrongs. That's why I'm saying fatherhood is rough, because some of us been pushed in and we wasn't even a real father, because we got lied to, we got put in this, and we still had to bear this. And then we still got to look at society. We got a weight on our shoulder as black men. I'm sorry. I've been pushing this weight, holding it. I got to do whatever I got to do to juggle it because I'm not giving a fair shot all the time. They be like, yeah, racism over with. Let me tell you something. As long as I'm a black man, I'm always held accountable. I'm always looking to be pushed. And my whole thing is why? Why are you pushing me? Why are you pulling me? Why are you doing this? I guess this is what America is. Well, guess what? As I hold it, I have to cry sometimes just to realize how unfair it is.
And you know what? But we really can never contemplate on that too much. We know it.
Yeah.
But if we start thinking about it too much, it pulls our strength away.
It does.
It starts to demean us. It starts to damage.
And I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want
but
that.
That's why we're talking about.
But I wanted to comment on the women's side. Women, take care of the men of this world by protecting him from a child, right? Listen, if he doesn't have a condom on, don't let him go in. Period. Women, if you set the tone for that, we can change a lot of this thing, right? And I'm not saying that men shouldn't take their onus and et cetera, but, wrap up, strap up, whatever you got to do. We have to decrease the amount of illegitimate children in this world because it makes fathers so spread out that you really can't be effective. We need fathers in the home. We need fathers with wives. We need fathers at least in their communities supporting their children.
Crap, I got to snitch on myself.
What's that, Jay?
Because you are saying positive, great things, but I got to go back when I was young. I was kind of horny, and I had a condom on, and she was like, well, you got to have one for us to do this. I was like, hold on, I'll go to the kitchen. So I got some Reynolds wrap.
Reynolds wrap have saved many a generations.
I don't know what it's saying, but I'm going to say right now, I think it worked. I think it worked. Let me tell you.
It's a great idea.
Quit being creative.
Yeah.
And just understand the cost of making sure you have it. So, again, I had to throw that one in there because, again, I've not made all the perfect decisions. Yeah. And, again, I got kids out there. So, to say I did all the right things, I'd be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah.
But not saying no more than I understand you get heated the moment it might not be and you take the chance. But please understand what that chance is. Anytime God made sex great. He made it great. Okay? When somebody say sex ain't good, that's because you probably wasn't vibing and whatnot. Right. But normally with the right person, it's great. But then it's pain behind it. It's pain in her having that birth, and it's some pain in you raising that child. Yeah. There's a lot of things that go with it. And like I said, God has a great sense of humor because, again, he gave you that great feeling and he gave you some great things that's going to come behind it. It might not be the best feeling. Yeah. But can you withstand the pain?
And listen, if you become a father, commit 1,000%.
Yeah, please do.
Commit 1,000%. That's key. If you have a baby father, take care of him.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, fathers, take care of those mothers. Become a team. Whether your interpersonal life ever works out or not, find a way to become a team. And the common denominator in team is common goal.
There you go.
Those who have common goals will usually arrive at the destination together, right? Without common goals, you usually will drift apart. That's
a fight.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges in marriage is that the husband and wife aren't on the same page, and so if they aren't on the same page, it just pulls them apart. Like islands just drifting apart. Mm-hmm. So we just have to love and protect one another in this equation of parenting. There is no greater life than being a father. There's no greater life than being a mother. There's no greater responsibility than taking care of a child and bringing them in this world and making sure they have what they need and that they learn right from wrong and that they understand the ways and means of a good life and a long life. That's rich material. That's rich material, and you should honor it with every fiber of your being. Commit to it once again. There is no greater relationship that I think you can have. Even marriages there's no greater relationship than you to your child.
Yes.
It's a very special thing, and they're gonna mess up and they ain't gonna hit the mark and they're gonna be all to the left and to the right. Sometimes you just gotta scoop them up, pat them on the back, and keep them moving, you know.
Oh.
So, you know, the life of a father. What can I say? Anything else, Jay?
One thing I can tell you is, and again, not just my children, the people I've dated, I got close to their children. So I'm really proud to be able to run across young men that I had small endeavors with, you know, where I was able to spend time with them and have fun with them while I was dealing with their mom, respectfully understanding they had a father, and they still respect me and still know me, still follow me to this very day, because a father is just a father to all. It's not just being a father to yours. And I like to say, everybody normally thinks that way. You know, I'm gonna make sure mine is all right. I got to make sure that everybody's all right. If I'm dealing with you, I got to make sure because it's a mental thing.
Yeah, boy, can you imagine fathers who, you know, your baby's mother got married, and now you got to be friends with the new father. And now you might even have to coach the new father or check the new father, right? That's a whole nother layer of parenting. And the worst, same with mothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your baby's father got married or with another lady, and you know she keeping your child when you're not around. You can't be acting the ass with people who keep your children. Yeah. You got to learn how to respect the game so that when your child is with them alone, they're not getting mistreated or disrespected or any of that. So there again, one of those scenarios, you got to bite your lip, etc. It just turns out that if 75% of fathers are not in the home, then more than likely there's a whole lot of mixed marriages. There's a whole lot of mixture going on of families and relationships. And it's necessary for us to be family with those who aren't blood sometimes. Right. Sometimes we have to be fathers to our stepchildren. Sometimes we have to be fathers to our neighbors' kids. Sometimes we have to be fathers to the kids at the place we work at. But the key is find a good father and be a good father. There you go. Be a good father, find a good father. There's plenty of great fatherly figures, as Jay said, in the world, and let's just give all the fathers a stand.
All day long. And one I have to give, since I mentioned his name, David Ingram's father, took me in and he treated me like his own. Yeah. So guess what? I honor him. He's no longer here, but I honor him because of the way that he did me. I did others. There you go. And that's how powerful we can be when we touch other kids in the society. Instead of saying that bad child up here and you talk about them, put your hands on them and let them know. Yeah. As an older guy, as an OG, we need to give the best we can give. And all I can tell you on that one is that will save our community instead of us bringing everything down. And that's a real father.
There you go. And this has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. Yes, and we want to thank you folks for being with us tonight. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. And please like, share, subscribe. Bring your friends and family and continue to hear some of this great wisdom. Never forget, folks, that we love you. We appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.